The goal here is to give you a very clear understanding of what you need to do, and maybe a good understanding of why people aren't having the success that they're after. I find that network marketing, most people, including myself when I first got started, treat it more like a sales business, like we're trying to sell something as opposed to a duplication business. The one thing that we're trying to do is duplicate and retain. So I guess that's two things. The most important parts of any network marketing business is duplication and retention. But before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about mindset. I want to talk a little bit about transformation, and really give you step by step how to get anything that you want out of life, because it all kind of works the same way. I'll give you several different examples, but let's just talk about the formula the formula of transformation. The very first step of transformation is making a decision, deciding exactly what you want. It can be a goal, it can be an idea, it can be a dream, but that's really the first step. Okay, I want to decide exactly what I want. Now, this could be, I want to be in great shape. Okay, if I want to get in great shape, that's the goal, that's the idea, that's the first step. And you want to get as specific as you can. So if you had an exact body that you would like to duplicate, and you know exactly what you would like to look like, that's what you need to have in your mind. And then the second step is creating an exact game plan. Exactly what am I going to do? So if we're talking about fitness and we're talking about getting in shape, that's going to have to do with mental aspects. That's going to have to do with sleep. That's going to have to do with eating. That's going to have to do with exercising. So I'm going to have kind of an exact game plan of what I can do on a daily basis. And I need to be very intentional about it. The next thing I need, once I have that game plan, I need to be consistent in following it. I need to be disciplined so I continue to do it even when I don't feel like it. And I need to be resilient that if the plan isn't working exactly the way that I thought it was, instead of giving up on the goal, I just adjust the plan a little bit. Now, this is the exact same thing no matter what you're trying to accomplish. What we're going to be talking about is more financial aspects of the business, what I'm going to be talking about. And so with that, the goal would be the exact amount of income that you're looking to make. $500 a month, $5,000 a month, $50,000 per month, or what it is. And then the second step is you would need an exact game plan of how you're going to create that. Now, here's one of the things that I love about network marketing. We already have the game plan for you. So you don't have to come up with the game plan. We can show you how to do it. And that's going to be my goal here is to, by the time I'm done speaking, that you have an exact understanding of what you would need to do exactly to reach your goals in this business here with ORYGN. And so once I have exactly the amount of money that I need to make, the next step is creating the game plan. Then it has to be followed by consistency, discipline, and resilience. It's the same with anything. If I want to have a great relationship with your significant other, spouse, or something like that, how does that start? It starts with having the goal, having the dream, having the idea to have a great relationship. Then you need a game plan of exactly what you're going to do, consistency, discipline, and resilience. And so again, with spiritual beliefs and stuff like that, it works the same way. How spiritual does somebody want to be? Well, first you have to have a goal to be that way. Then you have to have a game plan, and then consistency, discipline, resilience. And so let me give you a couple examples so that you can kind of think, you know, what were these people focused on? What were these people working on? And let's take maybe some professional athletes. Let's take somebody like Tiger Woods. What do you think Tiger Woods' goals were from the time he was young? If you followed him, if you've seen anything about him, his goals was to be the greatest golfer ever, to break all of Jack Nicklaus's records and do all that. And so what was he focusing on? That's what he was focusing on, golf, figuring out how to be the best, figuring out how to be the best. And, you know, was he focusing on fitness? A bit, because that has to do with it. And so what happened? He became a great golfer and all of those things. But now let's look at the relationship side. How good were his relationships? Not very good. Divorced several times, all of the different things that's gone on. And you can look at Elon Musk, you can look at all these people, you can see what they focus on and how they become successful. Elon Musk, for instance, focuses on business. Does he focus on his relationships? Probably not as much because he's been divorced several times, has many kids and things like that. So again, the whole thing of transformation of anything in your life starts with a goal, an idea, building an exact game plan around that, consistency, discipline, and resilience. And one of the things that I would say consistency, discipline, and resilience has to do with everything is it's really being intentional, you know, living exactly by design. And so that's really the first step that I want you guys to think about is exactly what do you want? Every aspect of your life, exactly what do you want? And so that's kind of the first step. Now what we're going to be talking about on duplication, we're going to be talking about the financial side, but the reason you really need to focus on duplication, it's not just for the money. There's people that are good enough in the sales, that can get enough customers, that can do enough business on their own that you can still make money. But the thing that duplication does, not only does it allow you to scale basically unlimited, but duplication is what brings the time freedom. Now, for me, the reason I do network marketing and the reason I was so excited about this business wasn't only the money. There's a lot of different things that I can do in life to make money. But the thing I loved about network marketing was the ability to not only make money, but to be able to have time freedom, be able to leverage that money so that I can make money no matter where I am 24/7, no matter what I'm doing. So when you're talking about duplication, a lot of people just think, okay, what is duplication? Duplication would be I sign some people up, then they sign some people up, they sign some people up, they sign some people up. But you have to look at some things before you even get to duplication. One of the first things you have to look at is exactly what am I trying to duplicate? And so when you're talking about duplication, and in order to really duplicate, the first thing that you need is a system. So systems are what is duplicatable. Personalities and individuals are not. Skill sets are not. And so it's very important because I think sometimes people get stuck in focusing on what works the best. Because systems that can be duplicated regardless of somebody's skill set, background, or experience, I'm going to tell you just straight up, they do not work the best. In fact, they don't work very good at all. So one of the reasons that I think so many people struggle with duplication is their expectations are completely wrong. They're expecting to start this system and follow this system and just get instant results. That's not how it works. And so you have to, like, just as an example, let me tell you what probably does work the best. If you're very successful in this business, what's going to work the best is meeting with people face to face at your home or at a restaurant or something like that. You can take them through your back office. You can show them all the money that you're making. You can show them everything that you're doing. And then the next thing they know, they're like, holy cow, I can't believe he's making, 50,000 a week or whatever he's making and doing all of this and the car he's driving and the house he lives in. I would love to have that. And then if I could say, hey, I can teach you exactly what I did and I can show you how I did it. One-on-one, it's very easy for somebody that's already successful to sponsor a lot of people. But that's something that's not duplicatable and it's something that's not scalable. Three-way calls, they work well. So if you invite somebody that's looking at the business and then you get them on with a top leader, a top income earner, the owner of the company, executives at the company, and they answer all the questions and explain everything. They're very educated. They're good communicators. They typically are going to help close sales much better than you can on your own. But it's not scalable. It's very difficult to do that with unlimited people because how many leaders are there that are going to take all of these calls all day long in different languages all over the world? There's not enough leaders to support the entire field so that every single person has access to build your business on something like that. So one of the things that people make such a big mistake on is they're building a business in a way that works, but it's not scalable. So their business works to a point. They get a group of 50 people, 100 people, maybe even a couple hundred, or maybe even a couple thousand, and then the business starts to slow down. And then they get to the point that it's almost like you still have people joining every month, but you also have people quitting, and you're not getting forward. You're just kind of stuck. And then when people get stuck, they start trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? Why is this not growing? And then they start what I call majoring in the minors and looking at every problem. Oh, well, this person quit because, customer service said this, or, oh, this person had this problem, or this person had this problem. And so then you start creating this perception that your business isn't growing because of the company, because of the customer service, because of the product, because of the upline, because of all these other reasons. That's not true. It's not growing because you didn't have a system that was scalable and something that could be duplicated regardless of somebody's background, skill set, or experience. And I've seen this over the last 30 years, almost 100% of the time. Even good leaders in this industry don't have a real system. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is a real system? Because I'll talk to some people and they say, oh, yeah, we have a system. And their system is three-way calls, launch parties, home meetings, face-to-face meetings, all of these types of things. And I'm saying, okay, that's kind of a system, but that's not something that's easy to duplicate. And you definitely cannot scale that system all over the world. So you're never going to reach your potential. So there's a couple things that a system has to have if it's ever going to work. And the first thing is you have to have exact assignments. So exactly what to do on those assignments have to have due dates. So if I'm going to launch my business, I should have an exact launch okay, you want to make a list of 10 people and we're going to send them this message. We're going to call them. This is what we're going to do. So it has to be very specific. So, okay, my launch is this. I'm going to make a list of 10 people that I would love to work with. And then with those 10 people that I'd love to work with, I'm going to call them or I'm going to send them a message and ask them for a favor. And what I would typically do is, I'll get into that in just a second. So basically, you have to have the people you're going to talk to. In this case, we're saying 10, what we're going to say to them. And then if they're interested, what are we going to show them? And then if they want to join, then we need to know how to sign them up. And then as soon as they join, we need to keep that rolling. So we need to tell them to do the exact same thing. Okay, make a list of 10 people, say this, do this, all of those. So anytime I build out a system, there's two parts. One part is called the launch, and then the other part is just marketing. So two things. The launch is getting the business in front of people that you already know. So that's the first step, is just saying, okay, I want to get the business in front of people that I already have a relationship with. Now, you can do it however you want. Throughout the last 30 years, and when I was first starting, I would basically say, hey, I personally think you should offer this opportunity to every single person you have access to. If you have their phone number, if you have their email, if you're friends with them on social media, then you should at least offer them the opportunity. We're not trying to sell anything. We're not selling an opportunity, we're offering an opportunity. They make a decision if it's something beneficial for them or not. And so when I would say that, it's almost like too big of a task that I couldn't put an exact due date on it. So, and everybody has a different size of list, but so many people are so uncomfortable contacting every single person on their list. So what they try and do is, in their mind, they try and think of, who might be interested, or, who could I talk to? And so there's different strategies, and the strategy you follow isn't as important as just having an exact strategy. So whether your strategy is, okay, we're going to send this out to every single person in your phone. We're going to send this out to every single person that follows you on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever the case is. Or you can limit it to a list of 50, a list of 25, a list of 10. What I've been focused on most recently is just going all the way down to a list of 10. Because I have an exact goal for the launch. The exact goal for the launch is to get 2 people, which is going to qualify me for unlimited commissions in the compensation plan. So that's my goal of the launch. And I figure, do I have to reach out to hundreds of people to get 2? Probably not. If we're talking about people that I know, it's probably going to be somewhere between 5 to 10 people that I have a good relationship with, that I would like to work with, and that will at least listen to me. Now, there's 2 different approaches that you can take. I've done both of them. They both work. One approach is kind of a soft approach, and I would basically ask them if they would do me a favor, watch this presentation, listen to this call, whatever it is, and let me know if there's anybody that comes to mind that might be interested in either the product or the opportunity. So that's a very easy approach, because I'm not asking any of them to join the business. These are my friends. This could be family members, this could be coworkers, this could be, just friends from the gym, this could just be whatever. So with my friends, if I ask them for a favor to watch this presentation, to listen to this, and think of anybody that comes to mind, what typically will happen, if they're interested themselves, they would say that they are interested. If they're not interested, they might say, I don't know of anybody that would be interested. But if they see, like, just think of what we offer here with ORYGN and the triGLP, the peptides that are so popular now, weight loss, all of the other benefits. But if you're asking anybody, do you know anybody that's looking to lose weight? Almost everybody knows some people that are looking to lose weight. If you're just asking the general public, there's probably a 70% chance that the person you're talking to is looking and open to losing weight. And so really, the idea is, whatever that launch is, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just that everybody has an exact launch, exactly what you're going to do. And it doesn't matter if I'm talking to Daniela or if I'm going 10 or 15 levels deep. If Daniela has a proper system, I should be able to go unlimited levels deep in her organization and ask any person what is launch, and they should tell me the exact same launch that she would tell me. And that's the reason, if you think about that, that's what should happen if you have a proper system. Now, what I've seen in the last 30 years, almost nobody has a system that I would say is a proper system to be able to really duplicate. And it doesn't mean that you can't still make a lot of money in the industry. It's just nobody has scratched the surface of what's possible. And I think that the reason that is because nobody has proper systems and really trains their people. Because the goal here, as an example, if you could learn how to sign up two people, two business partners that want to build the business, two people that want to make money, and you could teach them to do the same thing. If you could duplicate that process, it's a very short period of time before you would literally have the entire world. And the largest network marketing company in the world has between 8 and 9 million distributors, and the company is about 90 years old. So it's taken them 90 years to get 8 to 9 million people. That means they have duplicated horribly. Why? What is duplication? What are you duplicating? You're duplicating a system. In order for it to work, it has to be able to be something that can be duplicated regardless of skill set, background, or experience. Let's look at an example in a McDonald's. You have a McDonald's, which is a restaurant. A restaurant is a pretty complex business. You have all kinds of inventory with the different foods and things like that, and the fryers and the ovens and all of the different ways to cook and all of these things. And then you have all of the technology for taking the orders and the cash registers and just how the soda machines work and how the ice cream machines and the milkshake machines and all of these things. This is a lot of moving parts in this business. Now, if you can think about this, McDonald's has the success because they've created a system so turnkey that the entire business is pretty much run by like high school kids and people with no college degree and things like that. The entire business. And we're talking about the most successful franchise in the history of the world. They made it so simple that high school kids and people with no particular education can run the entire business with virtually 100% success rate. Now, if they had extremely complex recipes and you had to be a gourmet chef in order to make it taste good, they wouldn't be able to duplicate that because now you happen to have something that needs an exact skill set. And so there's no way that they could have the amount of restaurants with virtually 100% success rate if they were doing very, very complex gourmet meals. It would not be possible. And so these are the things that you have to realize in your business. If you're explaining everything and you're a great communicator and you can answer every question, you're going to be a person that's virtually impossible to duplicate. You're going to be able to sign up a lot of customers, you'll be able to sign up a lot of distributors, but then you get very frustrated because you've signed all these people up and they haven't done anything. And so that's the case of most people that are very talented. And what's interesting is a lot of people that are very talented don't succeed in network marketing because they get super frustrated because they sponsor a whole bunch of people, they get a bunch of customers, and those people do nothing. But they do nothing because there's no system. And what they're doing, the people feel like, I can't do that. I can't answer all of these questions. I can't explain everything. I can't do what Daniela did. I can't do what JC did. I can't do what, all of these other people do. And so they do nothing. So you have to look at when you're sponsoring a person, if you're doing a three-way call with the owner, if you're doing three-way calls with the top leaders, if you're doing all of those things, you're actually doing them a disservice because you're showing them something that is not possible to be scaled and be duplicated by every single person. And so when you're signing somebody up, you have to look, how did I bring them into the business? And is that something that I could easily teach and easily duplicate? And if it's not, you're just not going to get the duplication. That's how it is. And so not only do we need the exact assignment with a due date, we also need accountability. So let me again just kind of go through a launch example. Let's say that we focus on getting all kinds of testimonials. So last time I saw it was kind of interesting. I actually took a picture of it when JC was talking about hitting 8 in the, just typing 8 in the chat. And that's my favorite number. We do a lot of things with 8, but there was at that time 88 participants. Right now there's 115 participants. But when everybody was typing 8, there was 88, and that was kind of a good sign. But there's 116 people on this call. 116 people should be doing videos every single day using the product and then tagging a group. JC has put together a fabulous platform for all the members so that we can be very aggressive with testimonials, income-wise, lifestyle-wise, product-wise. You cannot do that on TikTok. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that on Facebook because they'll close down your account. If they think, even people that have put like really good before and after pictures, they flag their account, they stop their account and say, hey, it looks like you're showing extreme weight loss here and stuff like that. I was even working on a transformation myself on my TikTok page, and once a week I was weighing and they blocked my videos because they said, oh, it looks like you're talking about extreme weight loss. And I'm like, so I can't weigh myself, hold myself accountable, make videos and show people what I'm doing so that they can follow if they want to, because that's, extreme weight loss or unrealistic or something like that. So one of the huge benefits that JC's put together for this team is your own platform. But if you're not taking advantage of the platform, it's not going to do anything for you. So let me just explain to you how you can use that platform as an entire system. 116 people on this call. That means 116 people should be doing some sort of a video using the product every day. That'd be 116 posts a day onto that platform that I could go and show a prospect. And I'm going to scroll down. I don't need to scroll down through 116 people. By the time I do 30 or 40 people, they're going to see that there's all kinds of people using this product. And then you want the before and afters. If you have a body transformation and you're trying to lose weight, then, and you have one personally, you want to post that. And you want to post it probably at least once a month or twice a month, even if it's the same thing, just so that it's always up there on the platform so that people can see these before and afters and things coming. And then any other type of testimonial. You're sleeping better, less headaches, you have more energy. It's just anything that you can think of that you're feeling better or that you've heard that this product does, just do a super short video and post that. And that's something that you should probably do at least once a week. So once a day, post yourself using the product. Once a week, something that the product has done for you. And it can be the same thing every week. It's just that what we're getting at here is a bunch of people posting. And then anything lifestyle. When you're at a great restaurant and you have a good meal, and then you can take a picture of it, and then you can make a post. I'm so grateful that my company is paid for this meal or this vacation or this whatever, or this car or this new house or whatever you have. And we want to create different sections in the platform so that basically if I have a prospect that I want to show this business, and I mentioned to somebody, hey, have you heard of all the buzz on these GLP peptides and seen Serena Williams on TV and all these other celebrities and everybody talking about it? It's the hottest thing out there. Have you ever, thought about trying that? Have you ever tried the injections or anything like that? If you ask somebody something like that, almost 100% of the people have heard of these GLP peptides and seen the celebrities and stuff like that. And then we can say, hey, we have an all-natural version of these same GLP peptides, GLP-1, GLP-2, GIP. I would like to show you some information so you can see how it's benefiting people all over the world. I take them to the platform and they just start scrolling and they see all these testimonials and all these people using the product and they see everything happening. And there's nothing in the world that sells better than testimonials. Testimonials sell better than samples. Because if somebody goes and sees 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 different testimonials and they have not tried the product yet, their mindset in trying the product is completely different. And the product's going to work significantly better. Let's say that a product doesn't taste fantastic. And you give somebody a sample of the product and they taste it and they don't really like the taste of it. They're already almost going to be shut off. But if they've seen hundreds and hundreds of testimonials and people losing weight and people feeling better and all of these things, and then they try the product, they're not really going to care what it tastes like because they're after the results of what they've seen. And so testimonials are going to sell better than anything else. So if you're creating a system and I want to show all these testimonials, and then I want to show the next thing people are going to want to know is, well, how can I make money? Can I make money? So you want to show the testimonials on the product and then on the opportunity side. And that's just a very basic, simple system. So basically I think of, okay, who's 10 people that I would love to work with in the business? 10 friends, I like them, they'll listen to me, they'll at least look at this. And then I give them a call or I shoot them a message and say, hey, I'm sure you've heard of these GLP peptides. I'm sure you've heard of AI. I just found out a way that we can monetize this massive peptide market and AI. I'd love to share some information with you. Would you do me a favor, look at it, and at least give me your opinion? And then I show them all these testimonials. I show them business testimonials. I show them this. And then I say, is this something that you think that you would like to participate with me? Or do you know anybody that might? So I can ask them, would you like to join? And if not, do you know anybody that might be interested? Do you know anybody that's tried any of these injections? Because they have all kinds of side effects. They're completely synthetic. They're expensive and all of these things. So I can, and they're going to say, oh yeah, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. All of these people are taking the peptides. They did $60 billion last year. $60 billion. And that's just on the pharmaceutical side. That's nothing to do with all the people buying the research peptides. And those did billions and billions, probably tens of billions of dollars on the research side. I would not be surprised if it's somewhere between 80 to 100 billion last year. So when you're asking, do you know anybody who's tried these peptides? Almost everybody that you ask that question, they're going to know some people. These can be leads because now I can call them and ask them how that's been working for them. I can find out about the side effects, and then I can say, hey, would you be interested in an all natural form of the same types of peptides with none of the side effects and probably 50 to 75% less money? So think about that for a second. They're already taking something. Millions and millions, tens of millions of people are having very poor adverse reactions and side effects. I have something that has none of the side effects, has the same studies, and is 50 to 75% less. Do you think some of them might be interested in finding out about it or trying it? Of course they are. So this is just a very easy way that you can do. So now I have 10, my goal is to get 2. And if every single person is doing the same thing, as soon as I sign up Daniela and I say, okay, make a list of 10 people, let's send them to this platform so that they can see all these testimonials. Let's ask them this question. Hey, have you seen these peptides that are, going absolutely crazy? These GLP peptides, people spending thousands of dollars a month. The results are unbelievable. Well, I've just been introduced to one that's fully all natural. It's 50 to 75% less money. It's patented. Let me show you how people are benefiting from it and how people are making money with it, and see if you'd be interested in either or both. So that's something that people you already know. So that's kind of the first step. That's the launch. The other plan is now marketing. And marketing, my personal, my recommendation is I only try to market to other network marketers. The reason why is there's tens of millions of them, and 99% of them have no clue what they're doing, and they're not having success. And I know why they're not having success. I know how I can help them. And most of them are doing network marketing for basically one of 3 reasons. They're doing network marketing for the culture, just because they feel good. They want to be around like-minded people. They want to be with people that are working on personal development, people that are working on themselves. So just the community is one aspect of why somebody would join network marketing. The second one is the product. They hear about a good product, they see these testimonials, and they want to do the same thing. And the third one, if they're going to build the business, is they're looking to make money. And so those are the 3 main reasons people would join a business. And most of them are not making money. And most of them, if they are only into the product or they are only into the community, they may not join the actual business as a distributor. They could just be a customer. So if I know somebody has joined a distributor, in my mind, I can just make the assumption they're trying to make money. And statistically, regardless of who it is, if I'm just finding network marketers on Instagram and other places like that, then I can just assume that 90+% of them are not making money, because that's just the statistics. And I can look at their page and I can probably make a much better assumption based on how they're posting, the engagements that they're getting, and stuff like that. So the question is, well, how do I find these network marketers? How do I introduce them to the business? We have all of these in PDFs and all of these in training, so I'm not going to go into a whole ton of detail on that. But a very easy way, there's MLM directories. So you can just type in Google MLM directory, and that's going to bring up thousands and thousands and thousands of network marketing companies. You can take any one of those companies and go and put that name into Instagram. And you can probably find the company's Instagram page. And then you can just assume that every person that's liking and commenting on those posts on that page are network marketers. Now, here's a good reason to build your list that way, because they're better than the average networker. Because we have close to 100,000 active distributors right now. When we make a post on social media, we have less than 100 people doing anything. But if you go and look at the 100 people that are liking and commenting on the posts that we do, they're much more active than the 95, 96, 97, 98,000 that aren't paying any attention to even what the company posts. So that's another assignment for, let's see, 119. So I'm not losing people. If people are dropping off, other people are gaining. So now we're at 119. Just think about this, 119 people. If you're in a company and they have an Instagram and a Facebook page, you should be liking and commenting on every single post. 100% of the posts. Like if a company has 90,000 distributors, they should be getting 90,000 comments and 90,000 likes minimum. It's the easiest thing that you can do to help grow your brand. Is the more people liking and the more people commenting, the more people Instagram and TikTok and Facebook are going to show that page. If somebody's not getting a lot of comments and interaction, then they're assuming that the content's not good. They're not going to show the page. And one of the easiest ways that you can grow your business is just the hotter and the more exciting the business is and the more people that are seeing it, the easier it's going to be to build for everybody. And so just little things that literally would take minutes a day, people just don't do. And there's a book that I'd highly recommend everybody. It's called The Slight Edge. So a lot of the things that I'm talking about are just the slight edge. It's just doing these little things, and it makes a huge difference. Every single person that you sponsor into the business, 100% of them, you should not sponsor people that you can't support, period. Every person you sponsor, you should like and comment on every single post that they do. And as you, somebody who is being sponsored, you should like and comment on your sponsors' posts and everybody that you sponsor. And if people start doing just these things, working together as a team, next thing you know, everything starts to look bigger, grow faster. I already mentioned just before, every single person should be doing a short video of them using the product every single day. And then tagging their sponsor, tagging the people that they sponsor, and then they share them on their stories, and they share them on their stories. So your stories shouldn't just be like you in the gym drinking the product. Your story should be you and your entire team and people all over the world using the product and telling testimonials. So then if I click on your stories and I say, hey, you know, what's this person doing? And I see 10, 15, 20 different ones, now it looks like something's happening. If I just see you in the gym drinking the product, I don't know if anything's happening or not. You're not creating the perception. So there's just, you know, these basic things that aren't that hard to do and take almost no time, but almost nobody does them. And just as an example, how are you going to build your list of network marketers? It's the easiest thing ever. So first off, I go to the network marketing company's page, people that like, I don't have to even judge. If I'm just trying to add 5 people a day to my list that are network marketers, that's going to take me 5 minutes. I find a company, I go find people that commented, I go follow them. So now I follow those people. What does that mean? That means that now I'm following them. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to like and comment on their last 5 or 10 posts. Let's say 10. I'm going to like or comment on their last 10 posts, and they're going to be actual comments. And the comments that I'm going to make are going to, the best ones are going to be kind of a question. So what do people post on social media? They post vacations, they post, memes, they post funny things, they post reels, they post in the gym, they post eating, they post all of those things they post. So I can have a question on any of those. So let's say that somebody posts a meal. I can say, wow, that looks fantastic. Where is that? And that's something that they'll probably interact with and answer. Oh, that is here. Or if they already posted where it is, I can say, that looks fantastic. Have you ever tried this restaurant? So I'm just getting some communication, because what I'm doing, the formula of duplication is build a list, cultivate the list, and then present to the list. So I'm building the list simply by following them. If I'm following them, I don't know if they're interested or not. I don't care. The next thing I'm going to do is cultivate the relationship. I'm going to do that by liking and commenting on their social media. So if I like and comment, I like 10 posts and comment on 10 posts, and I followed them, that person is literally going to get 21 notifications on me that day. They're going to get that I followed them. They might, think, man, is this guy stalking me or what? Why did he go and like all of my pictures? And why did he do all of this? But here's what a big chunk of them are going to do. They're going to click on your link. Who is this person? And that's why it's important that you're posting every day, that your social media is on par, that you have the stories, that your stories look like something's happening. Because if you don't, you're not going to get the benefit of the easiest way in the world to build the business. And this is something that every single human being can duplicate, because it takes no special skill set, background, or experience. This is just copy and paste. This is as simple as it gets. And so now, as I continue to do that every single day, adding more people, cultivating more, they're going to my page, I'm posting, I'm doing these things. That's marketing. And the reason I teach the strategy of social media marketing is because it's free. We could also go run ads. We could also put out flyers. There's 10 million things that we could do for marketing. But whatever you're doing as a team, you should have an exact marketing strategy that every single person is following. And it should be mostly copy and paste that takes almost no skill set, background, or experience. That's when you start to have a system. So the system that I teach, add 3 people a day to your list minimum. And then if I'm adding 3 people a day, that's around 100 a month. Every single time that they post, the first time I follow them, I'm going to like and comment on 10 posts or 5 posts. But then any post that they do after that, I'm going to like and comment on it. And I'm going to do that for at least 30 days before I send them a message about ORYGN. And then after 30 days, I'm just going to reach out to them and say, hey, I've been following your page for a little while. I like the content. It looks like you're in a network marketing company also. And then I can ask them certain questions. I can ask them, have you ever heard of peptides? I can ask them, hey, what type of AI are you using to build your business? What type of system do you have? And then it just has that. Now I'm starting to have conversations where I can invite them to check something out. And it's not hard to do, and it doesn't have to work well. So I have two goals when I build a system. The first goal is during launch, I want to get 2 people. The next goal is during whatever my marketing strategy is, I want to get at least 1 per month. And let me explain why those numbers and how these numbers are so huge. And then I'm going to show a really quick example. I didn't have time because it's a ton of math to do this. JC asked me to do it a while ago, and I've just kind of been procrastinating it because it literally, the compensation plans are calculated by a computer for a reason, because it takes a long time to go and do the math of every level and every person, and this is how it works, and the matching bonuses and all of those things get very complex. So I didn't finish it 100%, but I finished it enough that you'll get the exact point of what I'm talking about here and how duplication works. And I'm going to show a duplication of 2 is what I'm going to show, very, very specific. And so 2, the goal would, and let's say that it's a month, 2 in a month. My goal is to launch my business, get it in front of every single person that I know, or at least as many people as it takes to get 2. And I get those 2 people. Now, if I have that system, whether it's the testimonials, whatever it is, whatever the system you've created, now, as soon as they join, I get them to do the same thing. And the first thing they're going to do is launch the business. Let everybody know that they're in business, or 10 people know, or 50 people, whatever it is. And the goal is for them to get 2. So let's look at how that works. And let's say that it's taken a full month to get 2. So month 1, I have 2 people. I'm sure that you guys can understand that. Month 2, I don't do anything except for support my 2 people. And I would help them get 2. So month 2, those 2 get 2, which is 4. Month 3, those 4 get 2, which is 8. Now let's fast forward 32 months. Well, let's fast forward 12 months. In 12 months, you have a little over 8,000 people on your team, and you're making more than 100,000 per month in 12 months. And how many people did you sponsor total? 2. And 0 people sponsored more than 2. And in 1 year, you're now making well over 100,000 a month. Now let's fast forward to 2.5 years, 32 months. So a little over 2.5 years, you have the entire world. You have 8 billion people. And nobody sponsored more than 2, and it took every single person a month. 2.5 years, you have the entire world. Now let's look at the 1 a month through marketing. First month, I have 1. So let's just say, I see a few names up here. So the first month, let's say that I sponsor Alex. So I sponsor Alex. That's 1. The second month, let's say that I sponsor Daniela, and Alex sponsors JC. That's 3. So I go 1, 3, 7, 15. It doubles plus 1 every month. If I go 12 months, what's ironic about this is even though I sponsor 12 instead of only 2, it's still almost the exact number of people. It's about 8,000 people, and it's going to be $100,000 per month income. Now, I continue that, and I go 2.5 years, like I talked about before. Instead of being 8 billion, it's about 10 million. I go 3 years, it's 640 million. I go 3.5 years, and it's the entire world. So now we just talked about the 2 smallest numbers that you could possibly duplicate by, 1 and 2. And duplicating by 1 takes 3.5 years to get the entire world. It takes 1 year to make $1 million a year. Duplicating by 2 takes 2.5 years to get the entire world, and still 1 year to get to $1 million. And so here's what you have to realize. And this was the first realization that I had to come up with. And I came up with this in 1995. It was 1995 when I realized I'm going to become wealthy in this business. And the information that I just gave you is what I figured out. I figured out that nobody needs to sponsor more than 2 people ever to make unlimited income. Nobody needs to sponsor any more than 1 person a month to make unlimited income in a very short period of time. I graduated college in 1996. So I went to college from 1992 to 1996, 4 years. Average college education in the United States now is taking about 5 years. It takes about 5 years and costs approximately $100,000 US. That's at a pretty good university, but it's not. There's universities that cost more than $100,000 a year. So to get that college degree costs about $100,000, and then the average bachelor degree education is making about $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year. So what the world and what society is teaching you to do is go to school, spend maybe $100,000, get an education, and then go get a job to work for somebody else and maybe make enough money to barely scrape by. Or if you could learn how to sponsor two people, never a third, never a fourth, but teach them how to sponsor two also, in 1 year, you're making 100,000 a month. And instead of spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars on that education, you spent maybe $150 a month for your entire business, and you got a product for that. And as soon as you get two and help them get two, you're actually making money. So at the end of the day, if you're doing this business right, it should never cost you out of pocket more than 1 month. If you ever go out of pocket more than 1 month, you're not doing the business correctly. You need to get with your upline. You need to figure some things out. It should take nobody more than 1 month to get into profit if you're trying at all. Why does it take people more than 1 month to get into profit? Well, reason number one, I would say well over 90% of the people never even launch their business. If you get a new distributor and you work out an exact launch plan, and you already know that this launch plan, by experience and testing it, normally will get more than 2 signups, and every single person that you bring in, you launch the business, most of them are going to get signups, almost 100%. So the very first reason you're not having the success is when you sign somebody up, you're not launching their business. Most people, when they sign somebody up, what do? Hey, Alex, here's your login and password. Go talk to some people. They have no clue. There's not an exact launch. There's not an exact system. There's nothing to duplicate. And then they wonder, why am I not duplicating? Then you have people that are duplicating. You have people that aren't, you have people that are having success getting customers, having success getting distributors, but they're not getting the duplication. Then you have to think, how did I get those customers? How did I get those distributors? How can I create a system around that? Can I create a system around that? The thing that I realized when I knew I was going to make money in this, first off, I realized nobody has to be good, and the system doesn't have to work very well. Like when I talked about adding 3 network marketers a day to your list, if we just round that up to 100 a month, even though it's 90, if we round it up to 100, that means 99% of the people can have no interest and not want to do anything with us. We only need 1%. And that's if we're only adding 3 people a day. Adding 3 people a day takes literally 15 minutes. If you're liking and commenting on their stuff, it literally takes 15 minutes. If you're adding like 10 or 20 people a day, let's say 20 people a day, that's 600 a month, and you only need to sponsor 1 out of the 600. The bottom line is, even if you're 1%, even if you're 0.5%, even if you're 1/4%, like if I sign up 1/4% of the people that I prospect, I'm still not even working, if I'm doing it correctly, I'm still not even working any more than maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. And I sponsor 1/4%. That means 99.75% of the people tell me no. 1/4% say yes. And I can show you how to make unlimited income with those odds. The only one I can't show you how to make unlimited income is if you get 0% sign up. And here's what I can tell you. If you talk to 100 people and you get 0% sign up, I can still help you. You're either talking to the wrong people, you have the wrong approach. Most of the people get 0% sign up because they don't talk to enough people. They talk to like 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Or they send people information that don't know who they are. They didn't cultivate the relationship at all. So hopefully this has given you kind of an eye-opening to the business, how it works, how it can go. Now let me show you how this could actually look in the real world, duplicating just by 2s. And my whole mindset here is this is the launch. I always have 2 systems. One is the marketing, sign up at least 1 person a month. The other is the launch. So this would be the launch. Now, you're going to see a super, super fancy PowerPoint because I take a lot of time on these. Duplication, how to attain time freedom along with financial freedom. The thing that duplication will do for you, it will bring the time freedom. If you're building this business by you doing all the presentations, by doing things that aren't scalable, you're never going to have time freedom. You might have money, and I've done it both ways. There was times that I was making a lot of money, but I was working like 10, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, and felt like I couldn't be without my phone. I didn't have good quality of life. I wasn't a good dad for my kids because I was so focused on the business. I wasn't paying attention to what they needed and stuff like that. And I was making way more money than I was spending. I didn't need to make all that money. I just wasn't thinking straight. And I didn't have a system to duplicate. And then when I sat back and said, you know what, this is ridiculous. I wanted to do network marketing for the time freedom. I have no time freedom. I have to have my phone with me every second of the day. If I miss a call, I feel like, oh man, this guy's gonna be mad. Or somebody say, hey, I was trying to get a hold of you. I had this leader on this three-way. These are things that are not scalable. And I built the business that way, and I made millions of dollars that way. I'm not saying you can't make money without duplicating. You can make money with very low duplication and stuff like that, just through hard work, a little bit of luck, timing, all of those types of things. Then I made a different decision. And I put together a system, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to sponsor any more than 3 people. I'm only going to sponsor 3 people. And so the people that want to join, I'm going to talk to them first, and I'm almost going to try and talk them out of joining the business, meaning I'm not going to sponsor you unless you're going to commit and do the system and do this and stuff like that. But I had the posture that here's the bottom line. If you work with me personally, I'll guarantee you to make you $1 million. There's no question. Anybody on this line, if I took my time and took you under my wing and worked with you personally, I guarantee you I can help you make $1 million a year in this business. 100% of the people, if you'll do exactly what I say. And so that's basically, we put together a system. It didn't work very well. I don't think we ever even had 1% sign-up rate. And I made millions of dollars. My 3 people made millions of dollars. I literally did not even work probably 10 hours a week. In my mind, I've told myself over the last like 15 years, why didn't I just keep doing that? I literally didn't even work 10 hours a week. I just messed around all day, every day. And then I decide to, get into the ownership side. And I'm like, man, the distributor side is 8,000 times better. On the owner side, we have problems every single day, 7 days a week, because we're, all over the world and things like that. But I like both sides because I love offering opportunities. So time freedom happens through duplication. What are we trying to duplicate? In our business, we're trying to duplicate the 2x2 lifestyle, or if you want to make it even simpler, we're trying to duplicate getting people qualified to earn unlimited commissions. So I qualify to earn unlimited commissions by getting 2 people, one on my left, one on my right. So you can see here you have left, right, you have volume, you have binary pay, check match, and the total. So if I sponsor 1 left and 1 right, and what we're assuming here is our most popular pack is the 3-pack. Now it's the 2-pack of triGLP. It's $130 and it's 85 CV. So if I have 1 person left and 1 person right, I have 85 CV left and 85 CV right. As a brand new brand partner, I make 8% of that. That's $6.40. Now I want to help them get qualified also by getting 1 left and 1 right. So that's 2 more left and 2 more right. It's 170 volume on my left, 170 volume on my right. That's $13.20. So if you look at the binary, if I have 2 and they have 2, that's $19.60. But then in addition to that, I've qualified for the lifestyle bonus, which is $100. So that puts me at $119.60. But we also have a matching bonus. So the matching bonus is only $1.60. Where do I come up with that? I'm not going to go through all the numbers in this much detail on each slide. I'm just going through so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. The $1.60, where I come up with that is I have 2 people, one on my left and one on my right, that also got 2, which means that they both made $6.40. So 25% of the $6.40 is 80 cents. So I got an 80% match on my first person and an 80-cent match on my second. That's where that $1.60 comes in. So my first month, $121.20. And I probably spent $130 plus shipping, maybe up to $150. So I might be about $30 still out of pocket. Now let's go ahead and look at step 2. Step 2 is just to duplicate that same thing. So I'm not getting another 2. And I'm not even, getting the 1 like we discussed. So we're only talking about I get 2, I help them get 2. So what we're looking at now is the 2 on your left and the 2 on your right. So we're starting with their 2. So the 2 on your left get 2, which is 4. The 2 on your right get 2, which is 4. And then those 4 get 2, which is 8 and 8. So now, if you're just looking at the 4 left and the 4 right, that's $340 in volume. On that level, I'll make $34. On the 8 and 8, that's $680 in volume. I'd make $68. And then you add that up, the 102 plus the 100, you're at 202. And then I have $29.75 in matches. I'm not going to go through that math here. And I made $231. My total team is 30 people, 15 left, 15 right. My total volume is $1,275. And that could be for the full month. So this isn't weekly. We're just saying that this would be for the full month. So when I do 1,275 volume on my left and 1,275 volume on my right, if that happened in a week, I'd be silver. But we're saying that this is a month. If you're doing this weekly, then it would be weekly, but we're doing it monthly. So you're still just a brand partner. You're still making 8%. Now we go to step 3. The 8 get 2, which is 16. The 16 get 2, which is 32. And we did 5,355 for the month. That means on each team, that means we did over 1,000 per week. So at this time, we're silver. The total commissions would be $793.90. Now we go to step 4. The 32 get 2, which is 64. The 64 get 2, which is 128. Total 255 left, 255 right. I'm doing 21,675. That's an average of more than 5,000 per week. It would put me at the platinum level. And my income would be about $5,343. Now, typically, when I do a presentation, I say, okay, you duplicate it once, the 2x2, that puts you in profit. You duplicate it 4 times, that puts you at about 6 figures. You can see at 5,300, it's less than 6 figures, but you only have less than a half of the next week or the half of the next month before you jump to well over the 6 figures. So it's really like 4.5 steps to get you well over 6 figures. 4 steps is just under. But now if we go to the 5th step, the 5th step I didn't figure in the matching just because I knew it was going to be a lot of math to do the 6th step. And I'll go through some of that math just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here and get a better understanding of this. But the 5th step, it would put you much more than the 17,000. The 17,000, I didn't figure all the check matches here because at this rank you're blue diamond. So now you're getting all the generation matches, and the generation matches start to really add up when you're building. So this is step 5. If it's taking you a month to do each step, then this would be 5 months. If it's taking you 2 months to do each step, then this would be 10 months. Now we go to step 6. This is duplicating that 2x2 6 times. This is where it's going to put you at well over $1 million per year. $1 million per year is 83,000. So this is 116,000. So this puts you at about $1.5 million per year in income. And again, what did I do? I sponsored 2 people. That's it. And then I helped them sponsor 2. That created that 2x2 lifestyle bonus. And then that duplicated a total of 6 times. And it puts me at 116,000. Now you're seeing that the binary pay, I made $64,000 in the binary pay, and I made $52,000 in the check match. So let me just show you some of these numbers and kind of how it works. So you're seeing on this, which this 2,048, this is 12 levels down. So if you're going like 2, who get 2, who get to, the 2,048 would be on the 12th level. And then it's 2,048 on your left and 2,048 on your right. Just on that level alone, you'd make $34,000. So just that level alone is $34,000. The level above it is $17,000. So what I'm looking at is my 2 personally sponsored people. How much money did they make total? And you add all that up. So they made $17,000 on their level with the 1,024 because they don't have the 2,048 yet. They're 1 level behind me because I started. I got 2. The 2 got 4, so they're 1 level behind. So they have the 17,048. They have the 7,833, the 3,096, the 1,740, the 870, the 353, the 176, the 68, the 34, the 1,320, and the 640. All of that added together is what they've made. If you look at the match on each one of them, your 25% would be a little over 7,000. So your 25% on 2 of them, that match just on your 2 personals in this situation would be $14,579. And now if you kind of look at it backwards, we have the 2,048 people. This is your 12th level. And those 2,048 people, or excuse me, the 1,024 people all have at least 2 people underneath them. So you have 1,024 people each making $6.40. So you take 1,024 times 640. That's how much the 1,024 combined made. And then you divide that by 10, or you times that time by 10, excuse me. And that's your matching check on that level. So those 1,024 people, your matching check altogether would be 1,310. And then you're also going to be matching the people right above that, the 512 people. Those 512 people all made $19.60. So I take 512 times 1960. That gets the total made for all 512 combined. I make 10% of that because of the 10% matching bonus. That's 2007. And then it just keeps going. The 256 people, they each made $121.60. So I take the 256 times the 121. That's what the 256 combined make. And I make 10% of that. So as you can see, when you're first starting the business, the matches are small. But by the time you get here and to the sixth duplication, the matching is almost as big as the binary. And the very next, if I did one more, if I did a seventh, the matching is significantly bigger than the binary at that point. And so when people are asking, just super basic and simple, first step is to get the company paying you. That's pretty much your 2x2. The next thing is to get to 5 to 10,000 a month. That's duplicated 4 times. The next thing is getting you well over $1 million a year, about 1.4, 1.5 million a year. That's duplicating it 6 times. If you duplicate it 8 times, so just one more step, all of these 2,048 people do their 2x2. Now you're making over $1 million a month. So I can go in a very short period of time and show people, okay, step number 1, you want to qualify for unlimited income. That's getting 2 people. Step number 2, you want to teach them to do the same thing. That's putting you in profit. The number 1 way to retain distributors in your business is to get them in profit. So that's what I want to duplicate. I want to duplicate a profitable distributor. So I need to teach those people how to get 2 who get 2, and teach those people how to get 2 who get 2. And that's exactly what we've done going down this list. And that's only getting 2. We also have the 3x3, the 4x4, the 5x5. Their numbers are even significantly crazier. And you can take any amount of time that it takes you to get the 2, anything realistic. As an example, if it took me 3 months, let's say it took me 6 months. If it took me 6 months to find 2 people, 6 full months to find 2 people, and it took them 6 months, and it took them 6 months, and it took them everything, still in less than 6 years, you're making over $1 million a year. And the only way it takes you 6 months to get 2 people is if you're just not trying at all. The only reason it takes you more than a month to get 2 people is you're just not really trying. But the downside isn't you getting 2 people, because here's the important thing to realize. You getting 2 people residually is going to make you $6.40 a month. That's not very exciting. So that's why duplication is such key. I need to get 2 people. I need to have an exact system so that I can help them get 2. And they can follow the exact system, and they can get 2. And they can follow the exact system so they can get 2. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more of an understanding of how this business works, the potential of this business, never needing to sponsor more than 1 person, never needing to sponsor more than, or 1 person per month, never needing to sponsor more than 2 people, period. But why do so few people succeed? It starts from what we talked about at the very beginning. Most of them don't know exactly what they want. If you don't know what you want, how are you going to get it? The next thing, they know exactly what they want. They don't have a game plan of how to get it. So if I say, would you like to be wealthy? And you say yes. And then I say, do you have an exact game plan on how you're going to become wealthy? And you say no. Okay, you're probably not going to become wealthy. Now you have the exact game plan of how you're going to become wealthy. You follow it consistently, you're disciplined, and you're resilient, so that you might have to change the plan a little bit. So if my plan was I want to make $1 million, or I want to get to 100,000 a month by the end of my first year, and I never want to work more than 2 hours a day. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to my 10 closest friends that I'd love to work with, and I'm going to invite them to look at this business with me. Let's say that all 10 say no. None of them join. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a list of network marketers, and I'm going to add 3 people a day, 100 a month. And I'm going to try and get 1 sign up a month. And let's say that happens. Out of 100, I get 1. And then I teach them the same thing. Hey, make a list of your 10 people. Let's contact them. And maybe they get 2, maybe they get 1, maybe they get 0, maybe they get 4. It doesn't matter. But then let's add 3 networkers a day. And let's say that they get the 1. And that continues on. Now I have a game plan. I have something that I can track. I can see what's working. I can see what isn't working. Let's say that I'm adding the 100 people. I'm following everything. I'm liking, I'm commenting, I'm doing all the things right. And I'm not getting 1 sign up per month. This is where the resilience comes in. I don't quit. I say, well, geez, I added 3 people a day, 100 people a month. I didn't get 1. Let's add 6 people a day. Let's add 10 people a day. Once you cultivate a relationship with 500 people in a month, and you don't get at least 1 to sponsor, give me a call personally, and I'll give you all your money back. I'll just say, here's the bottom line. This business isn't for you. I'll give you your money back personally. I don't think it's possible, to be honest with you. I don't think that somebody could go through the system cultivating 500 network marketers and not get one sign. I literally don't think it's possible. I don't think you'll do it on 100. A saying that I learned that just helped a different mindset was, let's just say, for an example, that with ORYGN, we put this out and said, hey, if you give 1,008 presentations, I'm going to guarantee you 20,000 per month. Guaranteed. All you have to do is give 1,008 presentations. I'm gonna guarantee you 20,000 a month. How fast are you gonna give those presentations? How many presentations are you gonna give a day? Think about that. I bet most people would be given as many presentations as they could because they're not worried about the outcome. They have to be a good presentation. I mean, you have to do a good job. You have to get somebody to watch a video. You don't even have to give the presentation. Let's say that we have a video. All you have to do is get 1,008 people to watch that video, and we will guarantee you 20,000 per month. Most people would get 1,008. They'd have a goal. I want to show this to 100 people a day, 10 people a day, 20 people a day, 50 people a day. Now, here's what we know. I don't know if it's going to be 1,008 presentations to get you to 20,000 a month. Realistically, it's probably going to be significantly less than that. But I know it's going to be more than one. It's going to be more than two. And so many people just, they think that they want to make money in the business, but they have absolutely no plan on what they're going to do. And then they start to think, man, why is this network marketing doesn't work? I mean, network marketing has a pretty poor reputation worldwide because us as human beings know so little about success and so little about how business works that we do almost nothing. And then instead of blaming ourselves, we blame everybody but ourselves. Just general public and general human beings around the world are what we call a victim of their circumstance. They don't take responsibility for the position that they're in. Here's one thing that I can tell every single person on this call. 100% of you are in the exact position that you're in right now today because of the decisions you've made over the last several days, months, years, decades. That's why you're where you're at. Now, do bad things happen? Do unfortunate things happen? Yes, they happen to everybody. Can I have that victim mindset and have bad things happen to me if people, treated me bad? Of course they have, and they'll do the same to you. But if you let that be the reason that you settle for less, then it's on you. If that's the reason you quit, if that's the reason you give up on your dreams, if that's the reason you give up on what you're trying to do, then it's on you. You made the decision. Now, you can blame somebody else, but it's not going to change anything for you. So anyways, JC, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you. Hopefully that gave you guys a little bit more information on duplication, a little bit more information on this business, how the business works, and maybe some things that you could do slightly different in your business. And here's also what I'd say. If what you're doing is working, just keep doing it. If what you're doing isn't working as well as you want it to work, then maybe think about some of the things that I talked about, and if there's some slight changes that you want to make in the business.